So ladies and gentlemen, let us start the session. Today we are going to do the general ability portion of the 2023 GATE paper. And this is the GATE paper of the CH stream. So let us start immediately. As you can see on your screen, there's the first question that came. You are delaying the completion of the task. Send dash contributions at the earliest. Clearly it can be understood that it should be send your contributions at the earliest. So it would be option number B, that is your, which would be the right option. This was fairly simple enough. Let us move forward. Now this is again an analogy problem. Reference, there is a dash that should come in between these. References is to blank is analogous to guidelines is to implement. That's what has been said here. So let us find out what this can be. See, references are cited. Okay, and cite here, the spelling is C-I-T-E, because the moment it becomes S-I-G-H-T, it means seeing with your eyes, which is not the correct applicable word here. S-I-T-E, site, means the position, the site of the project, is at Gurgaon and something like that. So that's S-I-T-E. And plagiarize is an entirely out of context word. Plagiarize means to copy totally. Music is plagiarized. You must have heard Anu Malik was quite famous for that, plagiarized music. So something like that, But the correct one would be references is to CITE, site, which is analogous to guidelines which are implemented. Okay, so the correct option would be CITE, site. Next, you see a geometry problem. In the given figure, PQRS is a parallelogram. I am sure in the geometry class, those of you, the new ones will attend it online later. But those of you who have already done so, I am sure you will agree that a parallelogram is a enclosed four-sided figure that is enclosed by two sets of parallel lines. Such is the case here too. So is a parallelogram with PS equal to 7 centimeter, PT PT is that perpendicular, if you notice. PT is equal to 4 centimeter, and PV, which is that perpendicular from P to RS, you see, that is 5 centimeter. Even though the diagram is a bit opposite, because the diagram is okay actually. 4 is lesser than 5, so that's all right. Okay, what is the length of RS in centimeters? That is what they have said. So how are we going to approach this? So the first thing that we will do to this problem is make a construction. The construction can be imaginary also in your mind, or you can in your rough join one of the diagonals PR. Join PR. This is our construction. Now the moment you have joined PR, you see, I hope you can clearly understand that PQR is one triangle and the other triangle is PRS. I hope you can understand that. And both of these triangles are equal in area. Triangle PQR is equal to triangle PSR in area. I'm sure you will agree. The diagram divides the area of the parallelogram into two equal halves. So that has happened. Now, what will be the area of triangle PQR? Very simple. See, if PS is 7, then the opposite side QR must also be 7. That's the property of a parallelogram. The opposite sides are equal to. So the area of triangle PQR would be half into the base into the height, which is PT, that is 4. So that becomes equal to 14. That is the area, right? Now, what is the area of triangle PSR? See, RS, we do not know the length. In fact, that is what has been asked for. And let us assume it to be X. So we can say now the area of the triangle PSR can also be said to half into base, that is X, into the height of this triangle, that is PV, that is 5. So we can say this is 2.5x, but these two are equal. So 2.5x must be equal to 14, and hence x must be equal to 14 by 2.5. 14 by 2.5 means 14 by 5 by 2. So that is 28 by 5, which is one of the options given here. So we have found out our option. Pretty simple. Okay. I hope this is understood. Let us now move on. This was a simple problem. In 2022, June, I presume the pronunciation will be Ha. It's a Chinese, I think. Okay. June Ha, let us pronounce it. I may be wrong. Okay. I am facing this word for the first time in my life. June Ha was awarded the Fields Medal, which is the highest prize in mathematics. When he was younger, he was also a poet. He did not win any medals in the International Mathematics Olympiads. He dropped out of college. Okay, these things were given when he was younger. He was also a poet. He did not win any medals in the International Mathematics Olympiads. He dropped out of college also. Based only on the above information, which one of the following statements can be logically inferred with certainty? Take a minute and work it out. I'm really sorry, I forgot to give you the time to work it out for the last two sums. I forgot that time. So let me make amends. Take a minute to work it out. Okay. See the passage you have read. Now the first option. Every Fields medalist, and mind it, Junha was awarded the Fields Medal, so he was also a Fields medalist. Every Fields medalist has won a medal in an international mathematics Olympiad. I will say this is entirely wrong conclusion because Junha himself did not win any medals in the international Olympiad. So option number A goes out. Next, everyone who has dropped out of college has won the Fields Medal. Now this is preposterous. I mean, well, nowhere has it been said that everyone who has dropped out of college has won the Fields Medal. I mean, neither can it be practically feasible, right? So this one will also go out. All Fields medalists are part-time poets. Nowhere has it been written that all Fields medalists are part-time poets. No. So this also goes out. So by default, it must be the last one which is correct, but still let us go forward. Some field medalists have dropped out of college. I will say yes, very much. At least Junha definitely dropped out of college. So Junha alone could be a part of the sum. So some field medalists have dropped out of college. One can say with absolute certainty regarding the information provided in the passage. And hence, this is our correct option, number D. Right? Let us move on. This is one of those. A line of symmetry is defined as a line that divides a figure into two parts in such a way such that each part is a mirror image of the other part about that line. The given figure consists of 16 unit squares arranged as shown. In addition to the 3 black squares, what is the minimum number of squares that must be colored black such that both PQ and MN forms lines of symmetry? Not only MN will be the line of symmetry, but also PQ. I hope you can see PQ in the middle. Both of them form the line of symmetry. Try it for 1 minute, please. Okay. See, they have said that both PQ and MN must be lines of symmetry. Let us first assume this. Let us first say PQ is the line of symmetry. Then this square must be colored black because these two must be symmetrical then. This square must be colored black because these two will then be symmetrical. Don't forget we are taking PQ as the line of symmetry. Okay. And then this must be colored black because then these two will be symmetrical around PQ. I hope you will have agreed on this. Now MN must also be symmetrical. Now MN is this line. So first thing that I will say is, now you see, because this is now colored black, so around MN this must also be colored black. Okay, to make it symmetrical around MN. Now you see, because this tick is also colored black, this square is also colored black, right? So to maintain the symmetry, this must also be colored black. The rest of these black squares, they are already black. Okay, and this tick and this black actually make themselves symmetrical by default beforehand. So these are the minimum number of squares that I will take. And as we can see that the correct answer is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you need 5 squares to be colored black to maintain the symmetry around both these lines. And hence this will be the correct answer. So you see this was fairly very simple. Let us move on to the next. Human beings are one among many creatures that inhabit an imagined world. So a world is being imagined, and it has been found out that human beings are one among many creatures that inhabit, matlab that stay in that imagined world. In this imagined world, some creatures are cruel. If in this imagined world it is given that the statement some human beings are not cruel creatures is false, then which of the following set of statements can be logically inferred, means concluded, with certainty? So the options are there. Take a minute and give it a try. See, more than one option can be correct. Okay, so let us go for by one after the other, the options. Let us start from the end. No human beings are cruel creatures. Now the statement given is, see here, some human beings are not cruel creatures, which means the other part of the sum must be cruel. So this statement is not rendered logically correct. Okay, it can't be logically, concluded from the fact. Next, some creatures that are cruel are human beings. Yes, maybe. But then can we say with certainty this fact? Because nowhere it is said, specifically mentioned, that some creatures that are cruel are human beings. It has been said some human beings are not cruel. And mind it, some can be 100% also. Right? So that doubt remains. And because of that doubt, I cannot say with certainty that some creatures that are cruel are human beings. So naturally, this option I will also render not certainly concludable. Let us look at the previous one. Some human beings are cruel creatures. Well, this is saying the option number 3 in a passive voice. I mean, rather, option number 3 is a passive voice, and this is the, direct voice. ठीक है ना? So it's the same thing being said. Some human beings are cruel creatures. I will say yes, possibility is there, but how do I know it is certain? Because some human beings are not cruel creatures is given, and some can be 100%. Okay, so that doubt remains. So this also gets off. Well, the last one, all human beings are cruel creatures. Now, let us see. See, some human beings are not cruel creatures. Some human beings are not cruel creatures is false. Acha, I made a mistake here in this judgment. Let me amend myself. Some human beings are not cruel creatures is deemed as false here. Okay, just let me go back on this. Okay, just hold on. Somehow the eraser is not there anymore. I don't know why. But whatever. Chalo. Let us check it again. No human beings are cruel creatures. Some human beings are not cruel creatures is false. So obviously in that case, all human beings are cruel creatures will be true. So this becomes much more straightforward. All human beings are cruel. This becomes the fact because this is false. So this becomes true. The opposite becomes true. So no human beings are cruel creatures is still wrong. So my good luck. So this is still wrong. Well, some creatures that are cruel are human beings. Well, this I still would say cannot be inferred with certainty because there are many creatures that are inhabiting. How do I know that all the other creatures in this imagined world, some creatures are cruel? So some creatures, all of them are human beings. How do I know? It may be those creatures also are there, the other type of creatures. So for that, this also goes off. Next, some human beings are cruel creatures. Well, but all human beings are cruel creatures is the correct one. So hence this also becomes false. And all human beings are cruel creatures becomes right. So that was a stroke of luck on my part that having totally misunderstood, still these three were wrong. And having totally did not read this is false. I missed this. So still this was false, but still it is the same criteria. So number 1 is the only one. Let us see whether this I'm right or wrong. And you see option number A, only one is correct. Right. I hope I have made myself understood, even though initially I did not read this properly. When this I missed that part is false. Okay, fair enough. Let us move on. To construct a wall, sand and cement are mixed in the ratio of 3:1. The cost of sand and that of cement are in the ratio of 1:2. If the total cost of sand and cement to construct the wall is 1000 rupees, then what is the cost in rupees of cement used? A ratio and proportion problem. Take a minute to solve it and then we will do it together. Okay. See, quantity regarding the quantity. What is the ratio of sand and cement? See, the ratio is 3:1. Okay. Now regarding the cost, what is the ratio? 1:2. So I know that expense is nothing but quantity into cost, right? We all understand this. So if I am to find out what is the ratio of the expense, I'll say very simple. 3 into 1 is to 1 into 2, right? Which is equal to 3 is to 2. Now the total expense has been 1000 rupees, right? So out of that, what is the expenditure of cement? So I will say 3 by 3 and 2 are the units. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So 3 by 5 into rupees 1000 will give me the answer. Hey, what happened? Oh, so whatever, I can't cancel this. So this 5 will cancel. I mean, I have written on a wrong place. So this cancels and this will become 200, which is rupees 600, and that is going to be our answer. So you see rupees 600. This is going to be our correct answer. Okay. Acha, what have they asked you? The cost of cement used. Oh no, this is sand and this is cement. Oh, so they have asked cement, not sand. My apologies. So then this will be not 3 but 2. So then this will be 400. So then this is not going to be the answer. 400, where is it? Okay, here, this is going to be the answer. Sorry, they asked me the cost of cement. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so that is it. This appears to be a big one. The World Bank has declared that it does not plan to offer new financing to Sri Lanka, which is battling its worst economic crisis in decades, until the country has an adequate macroeconomic policy framework in place. Okay. In a statement, the World Bank said Sri Lanka needed to adopt structural reforms that focus on economic stabilization and tackle the root causes of its crisis. The latter has starved it of foreign exchange and led to shortages of food, fuel, and medicines. The bank is repurposing resources under existing loans to help alleviate shortages of essential items such as medicine, cooking gas, fertilizer, meals for children, and cash for vulnerable households. Based only on the above passage, which one of the following statements can be inferred with certainty? Ladies and gentlemen, the passage is not a very easy one. Okay, so one difficult passage will remain. But first you give it a try and then we will tackle this and understand this also. Please give it a try. Okay, let us understand the passage first. The World Bank has declared, World Bank you all must be knowing, has declared that it does not plan to offer new financing to Sri Lanka, which is battling its worst economic crisis in decades. You must be knowing this fact too from the newspapers. Decade means 10 years, so decades means lots of years. Until the country has an adequate macroeconomic policy. Macroeconomic policy means broader economic policies in place. Broader economic policies, the big ones, okay, the major ones, economic policies, the framework is in place. In a statement, the World Bank said Sri Lanka needed to adapt means practice, structural reforms that focus on economic stabilization and tackle the root causes of its crisis. The latter has starved it of foreign exchange. The latter means The inability to tackle the root cause of its crisis has starved it. Starved it means now Sri Lanka does not have any foreign exchange. That and hence, due to the lack of foreign exchange, it could not buy food, fuel and medicines. Hence led to the shortages of food, fuel and medicines. The bank is repurposing resources under existing loans. The bank is repurposing resources means the bank is, what shall I say, deviating resources under existing loans to help alleviate shortages. Okay. So all the loans that are already existing, it is again deviating those loans towards Sri Lanka to help alleviate. Alleviate means stop the shortage of, quench, these are the words, alleviate shortages of essential commodities or items such as, medicine, cooking gas, fertilizer, meals for children, and cash for vulnerable households. Vulnerable households means households that will immediately break. I mean, they do not have money. They come from a poorer section, those households. So cash for them. So based only on the above passage, which of the following statements can be inferred with certainty? Let us go from one point to point. Number A. According to the World Bank, the root cause of Sri Lanka's economic crisis is that it does not have enough foreign exchange. No, the root cause clearly has been said is lack of economic stability. Okay, the lack of economic stability led it to fall short of foreign exchange. Okay, it is not foreign exchange that is the root cause of economic crisis of Sri Lanka. It's the lack of economic stabilization. So obviously this sentence is wrong. The World Bank has stated that it will advise the Sri Lankan government about how to tackle the root causes of its economic crisis. But this is an utterly false statement. Nowhere has it been said that the World Bank will advise the Sri Lankan government. In fact, banks don't advise governments as such. Okay. So this is absolutely false. You don't need to read it twice. According to the World Bank, Sri Lanka does not yet have an adequate macroeconomic policy framework. And as I'm sure all of you will agree, this sentence seems to have been picked up directly. Until the country has an adequate macroeconomic policy framework in place, it has been almost picked up. So obviously, this is the conclusion that you can conclude with absolute certainty. No need of reading the fourth one in the exam. But here, let us read it. The World Bank has stated that it will provide Sri Lanka with additional funds for essentials such as food, fuel, and medicines. Now, that's absolutely false, right? See, the bank has repurposed resources under existing loans, okay, to help alleviate. It has not said that it is going to give additional funds. No, old loans, those are being redirected. So naturally this statement comes out to be false and the correct one becomes option number C. I hope you have understood it. Let's go to the next one. The coefficient of x to the power 4 in the polynomial x minus 1 whole cube into x minus 2 whole cube is equal to what? Try this. Take a minute. Well, this is a type of a problem where no such shortcuts are applicable. This is a problem where you will have to fight it out. Okay, so simply let us fight it out. Basically, it is x minus 1 whole cube into x minus 2 whole cube. So x minus 1 whole cube, we can write it as x cube minus 3 x square into 1. I hope you understand. So let us write 3x square only, plus see 3x into 1 square. So let us write it as plus 3x, and of course minus 1 cube. So let us write it as minus 1. I hope you all remember a minus b whole cube is a cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square minus b cube. And the same will follow here. So this will once again be x cube, and then it will be minus 3x square into 2. So I can write it as minus 6x square, and then it will be plus 3x into 2 square, which is 12. So that will be 12x, and then finally minus 2 cube, that is minus 8. We can write that. So now we will have to fight it out another step. So let's do it. X cube into x cube is x6. Check it out if I am right, if I'm doing any mistake or not. So you see, I'm a human being also, so I'm also prone to errors. So this would be 3x is x to the power 5. Okay, then it would be 3x to the power 4. Okay, then it would be minus x cube. Now what happened to this? Sorry. Where was I? So minus 1 into minus x cube. So that is it. Then this here would be minus 6x to the power 5. Then 18 plus 18x to the power 4. Then minus 18x to the power 3. Then it would be plus, this is done with 18x to the power, no, just wait. 6x to the power 5, 18x to the power 4, 18, no, I missed out this one. I missed out one of this. So that would be,
Sir,
which will be minus 6. Yes, please.
sir, do we need to solve the whole equation? Can't we just find out where the x power 4?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. You can obviously do that. And it's not necessary to do that. Only the, what have they asked for? X to the power 4. Yes, only the x to the power 4s can be done. Now you see, when I am exhibiting before you all, I can't just go on to do that part. I hope you understand. I mean, I'll have to do all of them a little bit. I hope you understand that, right? So that's why I am doing it. Just bear with me. I just lost the letters here a bit. So this would be this. So just give me one more second. So yes, that would be 6 plus 6x square. Then that would be a plus 12x to the power 4 minus 36x cube. Then that would be 36 with a plus x square. Then that would be minus 12x minus 8x cube. 24. Actually, in between, I was making a pattern. I somehow lost track of that pattern, and hence this is it. So okay, so that will be it. So uh, this would become say x to the power 6, x to the power 5 is 6 here, and so that would be, there would be a minus here, minus 9x to the power 5 plus 33x to the power 4 minus 63x cube, and so on and so forth. They have asked you x to the power 4, so I'm not doing anymore. So it has come up here. So 33 will be the answer. So this A33 will be our answer. While you will be doing it, don't concentrate on this whole thing. Just do only the powers, right? power of x to the power 4 as the gentleman suggested. Right. Here I will have to show you this. So hence which I did that. I hope that is clear. Now the next one. Let us go on to the next one. Which of the following shapes can be completely used to tile, completely cover by repeating a flat plane, extending to infinity in all directions, without leaving any empty spaces in between them? The copies of the shape used to tile are identical and are not allowed to overlap. This is common knowledge. Now, the point to be remembered here is that it is extending to infinity in all directions. And because it is extending to infinity in all directions, see, the one that will do it here is definitely the rhombus. Okay, this one is the one that has got to be selected. Okay, I hope you understood.